everybody. It's Anna Ten Pencil with Developer. I'm a certified blockchain developer and a certified cryptocurrency auditor. And today we're working on another JavaScript, CSS, and HTML project. And I'm so excited because I saw this one, tried it out myself, and I think it's actually really awesome. It's kind of long, bear with me, but it does go more in depth with the CSS, the HTML, and the JavaScript. So without further ado, this project is a MicroCode editor. So we're going to go ahead and open up codepen.io/pen and get a new document. If you're not familiar with codepen.io and you're new to this channel, this is a completely free service. You don't have to sign in. I am signed in for a change, but this is a nice way to have the interface. You can see it updated, have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and it just runs once it's updated. So it's a great way to do mini projects and just check your work in general. And you don't have to have any special things to download it. It's just on your browser, and it works on most things. So without further ado, let us go ahead and name our thing. It already knows it's MicroCode editor. You've done this before. All right. Let me get my glasses on here. I'm feeling. All right, so we are going to start with a variable here with JavaScript. I like to start with JavaScript. Some people like to start with CSS or HTML, but I'm more of I like to go JavaScript, CSS, HTML. That's what I like to do usually. And people like to bounce around. I like to bounce around a little bit, but not a lot because my thoughts are pretty linear. So let's start today off with the variable. We're going to say var microcode equals, and then we're going to write a function. And we are going to throw another bracket and then a curly bracket and do return with a curly bracket. And we're going to do an init function. Fiction. Oh my god. So let's do input cell, output cell, and that's for input selection, output selection, and language selection. Then let's go this, and then let's do focus input, and then do input cell. Let's do this. Make that an input cell 2. And then let's do listen for language. So we're going to say this, listen for language. And that would be oops. Oh my goodness. Language cell, and then we'd also have to say code output input cell. Great. Let's do a render output and a listen for scroll. So we're going to say this render output. This will be output cell, and then let's do input cell, and let's do a 0 array. Oops, not a 0. That's the value, and then I said we're going to do a listen for scroll. And then put output cell. I had that right the first time. Okay. Let's slap a comma there. So let's break down listen. Listen for input. Add a function for input cell. And then we're going to say variable self equals this. And then let's do input cell. On input key down, and then write function for the key. And curly bracket it. Let's do cell start, select start pose, position equals input selection start. Input value equals input value. You know what? I'm going to go up here, and after key, I'm going to write another variable. So I'm going to write after key. Here we go. Our input equals this. Yeah, I think that's what I want to write. That feels good. And then I want to, selection start. Okay, feeling confident there. So let's do, oh no, we want to have let's do an if key code is 9. Then we have an input value, input val, and we'll make that a substring. 0. And we're going to say select start position. Let's do plus 3 spaces. Plus input val substring set start position input value length. Okay. And then we're going to put input, maybe selection start and selection end. I think that's where I want to put this again. Input selection start. So that would be select start. Position plus 4. So we're also going to have text above it and a browser. So input selection end. Key prevent default. Okay. So I do input, and add another space there. So then the if, that's the full. Sometimes my brain needs a minute to think about stuff. It's been one of those weeks. Oh. I almost forgot a comma because this is, well, no. That's a lie. I lied to you all. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's do self render output. Oops. We're gonna write code output and then say it's for this value and And we're going to say prism, highlight all, and that one there. Throw that down. Okay, let's do listen for we're gonna make this a function, and this was gonna be for language selection, for output select, because we want to be able to decide, are we going to write it in JavaScript, are we going to write it in PHP, are we going to write it in HTML. Input cell. So then we're going to do var self equals this, and then from here let's do a $ code. Let's put that in quotes. Yeah. Let's actually output self this, and then let's write language in parentheses language cell on change, and then the function, and then actually within that let's do this, because I think this will make more sense. So then we'll do that, get rid of this, we don't need you. And just to remove class, add class, which will be something like language plus this value, and let's do remove attribute. And then we're going to write data language. I'm going to just indent these one. Remove data language. Okay. Now let's put in why does that not look right to me? Ha. That's why. Nice. So we're going to do output cell. And we're going to indent and say remove class. And we're going to do add class. And we're going to write this as code, output language plus this value. And then we're going to do the same thing, but for input cell. And we're going to write value is that. Boom, easy. And then we'll write code. Let's do output cell, and then we're going to do this as .html. .html is what I want to do. And let's do one more thing and then kind of close that up a touch. focus, input cell, and this should have been closed up here, but I'm gonna figure out where. I opened it up somewhere. Regardless. So we're gonna say for this one, listener for scroll, and we're gonna make that a function. Input cell, output cell. Great. We're gonna say input cell, and we're gonna say dot on, and then scroll function. Console log, not long, log this scroll top. Oop. I swear 90% of my stuff is just typos because I type too fast, or my brain is not, it's going faster than my hands. Output, literally. I can't. And then we're gonna say this scroll top. Great, excellent. Love and life, live, laugh, love in the conditions that we're in. Then we're gonna say render output as function, and then we're gonna write output cell and value. Go to the end here, do a curly bracket, $sign it, and then write again code output cell, and we're gonna go in and say .html value to replace, and actually, yeah, let's do that. And G. No, let's do that. And amp. Oop. Amp. And then let's say replace with LT. I didn't mean to do that. And we're gonna say replace again. So this is so we can replace stuff. G. You know, I mess this up. I should be doing greater than for this one. Greater than for G. That was my fault. So I want to do and G greater than, less than G. Less than G. So we're going to replace comma and GT. Nice. And then let's say plus, let's do \n, that would make the most sense. And then prism, highlight all, and let's close that out. Focus, input, function input cell, and then variable input equals input cell. Oops. And we're going to say input focus. And then let's do input array 0 selection start equals input 0 value length, yeah, selection start value length, and then we're gonna do like just 2 more lines. We're gonna say input 0 and say selection end input 0 value length. Yeah. Then I'll go down here. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go right here. And I'm gonna write MicroCode with a capital C in it. Code input. Code output. And then language. Okay. I think that's what I want. I'm just double checking this because I messed it up the first time. Okay. Great. So that is JavaScript. Let's jump into CSS. This is gonna take us a minute because I have to pull up my sticky notes because I have the fonts up here, and I'm gonna use Lato font from gstatic.com, fonts.gstatic.com, but I have to pull up the link. And you can use whatever font you want, but I'm just gonna copy and paste this from their stuff. This is what I want on this one. Okay, perfect. That's gonna give us a black background. Everything. And you can just, this is the link. You guys can find any font you want and use whatever color background this is. I'm just using what they had out of the box. Okay, so we're gonna do star before and then star after, and throw some curly brackets. Box sizing, we want a border box, and we're gonna try to get it so it has like a little bar up here, so it looks like you can close out of it, but it's not actually going to be something you can close out of. That's going to be our secret, though. No one has to know why. It doesn't need to be. It's a microcode editor. We're just doing it for fun. We like to live, laugh, love in the conditions that we're in. So let's do text decoration. We're not going to do any text decoration. You can, but I'm not going to. Color. I'm going to say inherit, because that's something I can do. Main, so now we're going to say the height of the display, the WebKit, the line items, the WebKit flex direction. So let's start with min height. And we're going to say 100 VH. We're going to say the display is flex. So we can, make our screen bigger and smaller, and it's going to move. We're going to say display WebKit Oh my gosh. Items. Center. WebKit. Flex. Direction. There we go. I got it. And we're going to say column. And then we're going to say flex. Direction is also going to be column. Okay. So let's do title. And the color, I think I'm just going to do white. We're just going to say put it in the middle with text align, center, font weight. Let's do 300. And then text shadow. I don't want a text shadow, but I do think it's good to define. Text shadow. We're gonna do 0, 1, 0. RGBA 0, 0, 0, 2. That way, hopefully, it won't throw an error at us. Text color. Let's do font size and margin top. Font size. Why was that so big? Font size, let's say 2.8. That makes sense to me. And then margin. Let's top the margin. Oh, margin toy. Boy. I like 1.5. Okay, and then we have to do the small title. So we're gonna like a big title, and it's gonna say MicroCode editor, and then a smaller title that says with syntax highlight. We don't have to do the syntax highlight, but if we want to, we can write it in. And then we're also gonna do like a little credit down at the bottom, and then so that's like what we're doing next. We're gonna do the small title. So you're not just like wondering what I'm doing. I am trying to get better at describing these things while I'm doing them, because I realize it's probably pretty hard for people to understand what I'm doing. My brain is making the sense. My mouth is not necessarily, which is half the reason I started doing this. Also because I think, and I've said this before, I think gatekeeping is bad. I don't like it. So hopefully we can walk things through, and even if you are doing a code camp or anything like that, this might be able to help. 0.4. Yeah. And yeah, that's all I want for that. And then we're going to go into credits. Just going to go credits. Open that up with some brackets. Also going to have that be white, so we're going to go color. And I'm going to say FFFF. And I'm going to do that same text shadow, and I just don't want to write it out, so welcome to lazy programming. Let's do margin top. I'm going to say 2 for now. And font size, we want this to be smaller than the big header, so we're going to say 0.8 em. And then we're going to say opacity. Let's break it down. Yeah. All right, now this is the window that the code is going to be in. We're having a window, not a widow. So let's say the width, let's say it's 547 pixels, because 550 would be way too easy. Background, I always like to throw a wrench in something. Let's do ghost white. Border radius 0.3 maybe. Sometimes I just make up numbers and it's kind of fun. For the box shadow, I do want a little something. So let's say 0, 8, 12 RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.1. What up? Oop. Oh, because you think it's not over yet. Duh. Overflow maybe? Overflow hidden. Okay, and then this window, when it's here, is going to have that header where we're going to be able to, it's going to have a couple things. First, it's going to have action buttons, and then it's going to have the language button, but we need to make the header, and then, yeah. Okay, so window, and then we have to do the window header. So let's go window. Oh, let's spell that right though, and then say window header. Hey, let's say the height is 40 pixels. Let's say the background. I like using Gainsborough because it's like the universal gray. So we're gonna say Gainsborough. Position is going to be relative to wherever the window box thing is. So let's say window header action buttons. Okay, so let's do position first, which we're going to have be absolute. We'll then do from the top, we'll have it 50%. From the left, we'll do 10 pixels. From the margin top, let's do -5 pixels. Let's see, the width, length, I'm just gonna say 10 pixels, and then 10 pixels for the length. Sorry, I'm still recovering. Height, and then if it's wrong, we can change it. So remember that we're on line 86. We might change that later. This background for the first dot that we want to, like, it will close out of, we're gonna have that be crimson. And we're gonna make a border radius, I think 50%. Okay, and let's say box shadow. Let's say 15 pixels, 0, 0, and let's say orange. And then we're gonna also say, oops, 30 pixels, 0, 0, lime green. So it'll be like, it'll look like that up there in the corner where my little cursor is. But it won't be functional. And like I said, we're not going to tell anyone that that's not going to be functional. We're just writing this, you know, we're having fun. We like to just have fun in this house. Okay, so we're going to have the window header, and then this is going to be for the language selection. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more than the average. So we're going to do display. Ooh, we don't want to do a period. Display. Inline block. And then we want position to be absolute. Right is going to be 10 pixels. top is also going to be 50%, just like the other one, because we want it to be on the same area. Margin top, let's do -10 pixels. And height 21 pixels. Padding, we don't want any padding. Let's say 0.1 EM. There we go. Oops. Text align, we want it, oh my gosh. Text align, we want it to align to the right, so we're going to say we want it aligned to the right. Because on this side, we're going to have the buttons. On this side, we're going to have the language selection. Let's do WebKit appearance. None. Appearance, none. Border, none. Background, we want to make it transparent. And then I wanted to do for FontFamily, I think I said Lado or Lado. Yeah, I did. Which is a sans serif font. Color, let's do dim gray, so it's not super obtrusive, and but it shows up against the Gainsborough. Okay, so now we're gonna do the window language before and then the after. So let's break those down into two different. So this is going to be the before. Content. ASD. Ooh, actually, I wanted single quotes for that. ASD. And then this is for the hover. And we're just denoting the background. Zero, space. Window, oops, body. We want position to be relative, and then the height to be 100 pixels. Okay. Okay, now it's gonna get fun. So window, body, we have to do the input code and the output code. We're going to say code input, comma, window body again, and then we're going to say code output. Okay, so we want the position to be absolute again. We want the from the top 0, oops, from the left 0, width, width, oh my gosh, width 100%, height we also want as 100%, padding I think we said 1 rem before, or 1 em. We have to write this like this. Border, we're saying none. For font family, I want this to be different. And I previously, what was used was PT Mono, so we're going to go ahead and use that. PT Mono. And then say mono space. Font size. I want this at the 0.8 em. I'm sorry, rem. Background we want as transparent. White space. Pre-wrap. Where? God. Line height. 1.5, yeah, maybe. I think that would be fine. Oh, let's do word wrap too. Sorry. Okay. Now we have to do the body code input, body code output, body code code. Okay. We're gonna do this together. Okay, so we're gonna do window body code input and opacity. Let's actually bring it down a bit, and then say margin because there's no margin. Oops. Then let's say color is just 999. And we're not going to have a resize on this. I'm going to say this for the window body. If I had a nickel for every single time I either stuttered or spelled something wrong, I would be Jeffrey Bezos. For sure. El Jefe Bezos. We are not going to have any events when they have that. Let's do ZIndex of 3. I messed that up. Margin 0. Overflow. Why? We're going to have it as auto, so it just automatically goes to the next little doohickey. Okay, now we do window body code output. Then we say code, curly bracket that, and we're going to say position is absolute. Oh my gosh. Top 0, left 0, margin 0, padding 1 rem. Oh my god. I'm so sorry for you people watching. If you have your sound on, my lord. Oh, good grief. Display I want as block. Color. Just gonna throw that in. I think I did 0.8 rem before. We're gonna keep that. We're gonna say font family. We're gonna keep it that PT mono. PT Barnum in the mono space. Oops. Gotta close that bad boy up. And let's do for the token, let's do a token text decoration. We're gonna have none. Then for token selector, token situation, token keyword, and we'll just say color red, but I don't really think we need it. Token property, token, we need a period before all of these. Token number, token string, token duration, token tag ID. Yeah, that is what I want, I think. Okay, so let's jump to HTML. Okay, we're gonna do this. So hopefully we can watch it come together. So we're gonna say main class equals view. And then we're gonna say header 1 is class title. And we're gonna say MicroCode editor. And then we're just gonna do a break. I'm gonna write that down here. I'm gonna write small for the smaller header with syntax highlight, and I'm gonna put a little star, and then we're gonna close up the small. Ooh, excellent indeed. And then we'll close up H1. And then div class, oh gosh, div class window, close but no cigar. And then we're gonna say div class window header. There it is. She's slowly coming together. Div class, and then we're gonna write action buttons. Look at that. Look at those little, they just pop up, boop. Okay, and then we're gonna do, for the language, we're gonna say select class equals language. And then for option value, we're gonna first start with Java, oops. I'm gonna say selected, and then write JavaScript. And then we're gonna close out that option, so that's the first option, and then we're gonna do the same thing 2 more times, but we're just gonna be lazy, and we're gonna go like this, ready? Whoop-ah, whoop-ah. And we're gonna say HTML. And then we're gonna also say PHP. and you can do more options. You are more than welcome. My all caps. Select. I need to figure out where that was. I have to go in each one and find it. Okay. And then I'll fix that in a second. In case you didn't know, I went to line 121 and took out the ASD. So we can select our, what's it called? Select our thing. We're gonna close up the divs. But then we're gonna open up a new one. We're gonna say div class equals WindowBody. Whoops. Your body. Look at that. Whoop out. Awesome. And then let's say TextArea equals class. Oh. Class equals code input. And this is where we did all the stuff for the code. And let's say switch the language and put some code in. And then we say this is the hello, trying to be cheeky, develop her example. Do I want to throw a break in? Actually, let me throw an arrow in. I have some arrows here. Nice. So we're gonna say function, greeting, name, and then name equals oh my god, stranger, return hello plus name, which for us was the developer, but digress. All right, we'll fix that in a second. So we want window unload alert greetings, and we're gonna say text area. Yeah. And then we're going to say pre-class equals code output. Close that. Code class equals language JavaScript. Oops. We're going to say code pre div. And then let's put in the credits. So we're going to say class, class credits. That's underneath the window. You might not be able to see it right now, but it will be right down here. I'm going to say you can make this too with and then I'm going to put in my LinkedIn information. And a 10 pencil, whoops. I'm going to say from, and then we're going to put in our YouTube channel. Develop her. Close that A up again. We're going to say div, and then main. We're going to close it up. There you go. Right down there, we have a little something, something. Well, a little something, something. You can make this too. You might not be able to see it. Let me figure out where we went wrong with this thing here. Okay, and we're back. So this is where I messed up a little bit, but we got it under control now. So now you can switch to HTML, to PHP. You should be able to type in here like function, or say greetings, and then we're gonna do last name, and then you can type and write and do all of the wonderful things. So you can technically delete it all, you can bring it all back, you can have a MicroCode editor with syntax highlighting. So all you have to do for the syntax highlighting is go back and add some stuff in here. Sorry, I've been trying to turn away from the microphone while I do that. But digressing, this is a fun project. I saw it online and thought it was good to kind of walk through. It shows us some really neat ways to make our HTML CSS interface more interactive and more for the client-facing side. Also gives us a challenge. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.